Yeah.
What are you doing?
So, we're going to Wizard World, right, in Cleveland?
Yeah.
Yeah. February 26th, 27th, 28th. Yeah, cool. So I'm just looking at some of the talent that are going to be there, and it's a pretty impressive list. I got to say, we got James O'Barr, the guy that created The Crow, the Russo brothers, the directors of Civil War, Faith from Buffy,
Yeah, Elijah Dushku.
yeah. So it's pretty great, and the big gets are Matt Smith and Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Доктор и Тор там будут?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Так, мне надо срочно пойти что-нибудь купить красивенькое. Я наконец-то с ними встречусь.
What did she say?
Hang on. Look, if you don't like these guys, you don't have to go.
Ты никогда меня не понимаешь. Вообще, ты темный такой. Мне всегда надо тебе всегда объяснять. Боже мой, что я с тобой буду делать?
Man, she hates those guys.
I guess so.
All angry Russian dialect aside, welcome to Week in Geek, everyone. I am your host, the Dark Knave, with his henchman, Cram. Well, it looks like Star Wars finally broke $2 billion. I know that sounds insane, but it is what it is. And that's great news.
Not really a big surprise given how much hype there was for it, but it is starting to slow down a little bit, and it looks like I was wrong, and it's probably not going to catch Avatar at this point for adjusted gross inflation. But that's okay. There's still a lot of hype around it, and the other exciting thing that's going on with that is that Episode 8 started filming this week as well.
Meanwhile, another announcement out of that camp this week. It looks like the Han Solo film now has a release date of May 2018. That is terrible sentence structure. Solo, that, yeah, hate stuff like that. Meanwhile, on the other side of the geek fence, we have Star Trek news. It looks like the Star Trek TV show has been greenlit and has been assigned a showrunner. Brian Fuller is going to do the helming of the chair for the TV series.
And in an interview that he did, he said that he would be really interested in actually having Angela Bassett play the captain for the new show, which I think would be really interesting.
I think that would add a lot of gravitas. We've also heard the name of the actor who played Hannibal bandied about, but that's probably because Brian Fuller worked on that show as well.
Good chance.
Huge news in the world of film today, everyone. The Batman vs. Superman final trailer hit, and I gotta tell you, I got goosebumps. It is fantastic. Cram and I are going to review a little of it, but we're only going to talk about the scenes that appear in the final trailer, and the rest of it you've probably seen in the 100 or so other trailers that have come out since then.
So the good news is we started right off with the scene of Batman taking on a series of thugs. Alfred is sitting there piloting the Batwing as he launches himself through the window and then up through the floor to engage the guys.
Great fight scene, finally getting to see the Batman we've always wanted to see on film. I'm hearing a lot of internet chatter that says the same, and we're seeing a lot of comparisons to the Arkham series of games and the fight scenes that happen in that game. Couldn't agree more. Great stuff.
Yeah, the next thing that we saw is Wonder Woman, a little bit more with her, so she's still there with her shield and sword, but this time we actually see her leap forward into the action.
We also get the little tete-a-tete with Bruce Wayne. They've alluded to this many times in the comics, also on the animated series. This little flirty relationship between the two of them so that we get a little cute back and forth at what looks like some sort of rich man's gala, but very cool scene as well.
Last but not least, we're treated to something very special at the end where Batman raises up his arm to block a punch from the Man of Steel.
And the Man of Steel responds with the old look over like, what? One thing I'm very excited about is something they started in Man of Steel and carried over to the Supergirl TV show, and now we're seeing it in Batman vs. Superman, which is really getting a feel for how powerful Kryptonians actually are. There's a scene where Batman shoots at Superman and he catches the bullet. There's also another one where he's standing at a distance and within the blink of an eye he's like right in front of Batman. That's the kind of stuff that I think we've really sorely been missing, and I really am excited to see this film. I'm sure you are too. Cram and I will be reviewing it for you. Comes out in March.
This week, Haley Atwell signed on for a new pilot for a show called Conviction with ABC. Not quite sure what this means as far as for the future of Agent Carter, however, it's not entirely surprising given the fact that they've had much lower ratings this year.
Well, I gotta tell you, it could be the reason why I haven't really been hooked by the show. There's not enough comic book to it, right? It seems more like a regular drama you would see on TV with some fighting element scenes, but there are tons of pulp heroes and villains that Marvel could be tapping into. The Wizard, the original Human Torch, even the villains, Baron Blood, Baron Zemo. There's a lot of gold mining that could be done here. They're just not tapping into it, and I think that might be a big part of why people aren't tuning in.
Yeah, and I think they are doing a good job of trying to bring that back around with Madam Mask and Zero Matter and things like that, and make it a little bit more comic booky, but it may be too little too late.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be the problem that Marvel's going to have with Marvel's Most Wanted, which is the S.H.I.E.L.D. spin-off show featuring Mockingbird and Agent Hunter. The problem with this is, what exactly are they going to do that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't already doing, right? It's an espionage show. S.H.I.E.L.D. is that. Are they going to fight the same guys? Are they going to try to include different people? I'm not seeing or feeling how this is going to work out, so I don't have high hopes for the show.
Yeah, it's hard to really see where that's going to fit in and how that's going to be a different niche than what they already have in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Exactly. Well, if you had your head in the sand or you hate sports, you probably didn't realize the Super Bowl was last week. Lots of commercials, many of them were supervillain hero oriented. Let's just do a quick rundown of each of those. First up, Civil War got the highest ratings from audiences when they saw it. Really just another quick snippet of, which sides are which, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of that when the final trailer for that one comes out. Also tied in with Civil War, a much longer, much funnier commercial featuring the Hulk and Ant-Man, with Ant-Man stealing the Hulk's Coca-Cola, and the Hulk doing about $10 billion worth of damage to the city trying to get it back. Haha, it's funny, I get it, but he really does do a massive amount of damage to the city. Lastly, he finally gets his can back and he can't open it, so Ant-Man jumps up on the can, pops it open. Everybody's happy, except for all the store owners who have to pay for all the damage that was done to their storefronts.
We also have Deadpool. Not surprising to see Deadpool making an appearance, because the marketing machine has really been going strong. Overall, it's pretty tame, but given the audience, that really makes a lot of sense.
We also had the Superman versus Batman tie-in commercials for Turkish Airlines, one featuring Bruce Wayne and the city of Gotham, and one featuring Lex Luthor and the city of Metropolis.
All in all, they were really good just to kind of give a little bit different flavor and a little bit different feel. It's a good use of using the characters and the way that they would really be influencing the cities to sell people on going to see Batman versus Superman and helping them understand, hey, this is the type of thing that you would actually see if Gotham and Metropolis were real cities.
Couple of fears from my standpoint. One, we just discussed this. I didn't realize Turkish Airlines was actually a real company, so that might be a little... I thought it was just an ad for Batman Superman, so that might put some people off. And two, it was extremely subtle, which is interesting for the Super Bowl, which is such a grand, huge game with very many viewers. And lastly, it was placed one near the beginning of the game and the other one after the game had completed, which, I think people were already leaving sports bars or turning their TVs off. I just think if they had gone with the final trailer, the one that came out today, and they plopped it right in the middle of the game, I think they may have had a bigger impact, but maybe that's not necessarily what they were going for. One tie into the Turkish Airlines Gotham ad, though, there is a nice little Easter egg that references the Joker, which begs the question, where was the Suicide Squad trailer? Interesting call from DC. I'm not sure what they were thinking there. It comes out in August. I know that's kind of far away, but it's the Super Bowl. You would think they would want to have that publicity, but that's their decision. That's going to do it for Week in Geek, everyone. I am the Dark Knave with his henchman Cram. Remember, Wizard World, Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland Convention Center, February 26th, 27th, and 28th. Cram and I will be there. We will be filming, and we will have episodes for you shortly thereafter. Also this weekend, Cram and I are checking out Deadpool. We're going to film our review of that, and we will drop that on you guys sometime later on this weekend.
So make sure you check that out, and make sure you also check out our Book of the Week and our TV recap and reviews. If you're looking for any information on anything that we covered today, check out the links down in the doobly-doo, and as always, share and subscribe.
You ready, Cram?
Ready.
Supervillain freeze frame.